Really?
Today I'm going to be working on my JK, and I've been having some issues with the tire pressure sensor, I mean not the tire pressure sensor, the wheel speed sensor, and it's been a pain in my rear end for quite some time now. And I've got the parts to fix everything, I just have been lazy and hadn't got a chance to get around to it. So today I'm going to go in there, pull the hub, put new hubs on it, just refresh everything. Mine's got about 115,000 miles on it, so it's time. So anyway, I'm gonna just do a quick video, kind of show y'all how that works. So we got everything we should need here. First thing you need to do is pull the wheel. I've got my wheel locks. I've got Gorilla locks on mine, and usually take it off with a 19 millimeter. Then once you get the wheel off, you're going to have to take off the brake calipers. You'll need a 21 millimeter for that, a 13 millimeter for the pins, and I've got wheel spacers on mine. So once we get that off, we're going to take the wheel spacers off. That's also 19 millimeters. And then once we get that off, then we'll have to do the center hub. That's going to be a 35 millimeter here. And torque specs, I'll go over a lot of that as we go, but this should be all you need. You'll need some Loctite to put things back on. You'll need some anti-seize for some of the bolts also. And so everything you should need here. I got my small torque wrench. Some of the stuff's going to go out about 75 pounds. Some of it's going to have to go about 125. So pretty much should have everything I need. And let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be taking the caliper off. I'm going to try not to take the slide pins out. I'm going to try to just go ahead and take this 21 millimeter hex head off, and there's one below it. But right down there below it, you can see that there's another one just below it down there at the bottom. And so I just need to get both of those off. So that's what we'll be doing now. We're going to pull the caliper and I'm going to hang it out of the way. Now that we got the caliper loose, I'm going to go ahead and try to get it off of my rotor. I mean my rotor, and hopefully it won't be too tough to put back on later. I'm just going to hang it over here out of the way. I'll have to put the little brake race back on, but hopefully this will solve some of my problems. Cut out a step. Okay. And then rotor comes off. Okay, so next we're going to have to do is get this nut loosened up, and then there's 3 bolts that go through this hub, and then this whole piece is going to come off, and the axle should slide back through, and we should be able to just put it all back together. So this dust shield is going to come off, the hub's going to come off, this is going to go back new, and then we'll just button it all back up. So now that we've got this nut off, I'm going to have to get these 3. There's 3, one here, and then one down here, which is basically a triangle. Got to get those out, and you will need a 13 millimeter 12 point socket for that. And we're going to get in behind here. And I don't know if you know anything about RCVs, but I have RCV axles and they tend to sling a lot of grease. So you can tell, like, this one down here is just covered. I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll take it off. I got lucky. That anti-seize made a world of difference, because I'm just tapping it off with just a mallet as opposed to having to hit the actual bolts. So this can be a lot easier than I was hoping for. Fingers crossed. So just a little 5mm hex. And so this is what's going bad right here. Let me see if I can pry this thing out. Sometimes they're a little snug. Sometimes you can get them out by hand. There we go. So this is my old hub. We're going to be replacing this. I mean, I got 115,000 miles on this. It's not giving me any problems per se, but you know, while I'm doing it, I figured let's just do everything. So this is the little sensor here, and this thing's seen its better days. I actually had this axle shaft break when I was running different axles a few years ago, and that's why I went with the RCVs, and it blew out my ball joints, all that good stuff. I had to take everything apart in the middle of the dirt. So that thing has never really worked the same since. Just, you know, to be truthful, it's kind of been a fight ever since. So it's time. So I run the TerraFlex kit that's got this little brake line extension. Kind of holds it out in a way, gives you a little more clearance, keeps it away from the wheel, keeps it away from the control arms. And so my sensor line is run to this. I'm gonna have to get it out of there. So we're gonna have to get rid of all of these zip ties so I can get it out of there. You know, when I went with the longer brake lines, I needed to find a way to kind of get them up out of the way. And I was actually running a smaller lift at the time. I can maybe get away with not having this now, just depending, but it comes in handy, or it has. Alright, now I'm going to go get my pry tool, and there's a little push tab right up here that's holding this in behind the shock tower, and I'll be right back. Alright, so let me see if I can feed this out of here where I can see it. So what we're looking at is, that's your piece right there. How well you can see that with the backlight, but that's what we got to unplug, pull out, and then we'll plug in a new one, put it all back together. So got this out of here. It was a little bit of a pain. As you can see, there's like a red clip on there. You got to push that back, and then you got to get a good hold on this to kind of wiggle it. Once I got that little clip pushed back, you got to kind of pry up on this right here. And so what I did is I just used my little poke tool, kind of pushed it in there and wedged a little bit and wiggled it, and it finally came out. Okay, so here's the new stuff I'm putting on. I got the Moog. I got this through Rock Auto, I believe. I've had it for a while. I just hadn't had time to put it on. These do come with the wheel speed sensors. However, I heard that they were shorter than the stock ones. I don't know why that is. So I did go ahead and buy me a set of these guys. So I'm going to be taking these off and putting these in. I did look at them already. They are shorter, and so I want all the length I can get for articulation when I'm off-roading. So we're going to put these on. So when you open them up, this is what it's going to look like here. Comes with everything you need, and if you want to see what the model is, I'll zoom in on that. Right there, and right there. Give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I pulled this one out, and as you can see, this one here is far longer than the one that came with it. But this is the old hub and new hub, obviously, and you can definitely tell this one's showing its age. I think we're 11 years with that one. So nice, shiny, and new. All right, so we're gonna put a little anti-seize in here, so if we ever gotta take it out again, it won't be problematic again, because that was nice to be able to just get it out that easy. So I'm always a fan of that. A bit on here too, so this will come off easy if I ever need it to. Also a big fan of that. to put the hub bolt on. I'm going to snug it up with the impact, and we'll come back and torque that in a little bit too. I'm going to torque these down to 75 foot-pounds, and see how close we are. There we go. Then we're going to break out our big torque wrench here. Set it to 100. So we got our big pry bar in place to hold the hub so it doesn't spin while I'm doing this. We're just going to torque this down to 100. And there it is. So now I'm going to run my line through here and get everything in place. And then I'm going to have to get that hooked up. We'll start trying to button up some of this other stuff, put the brakes back on, all that good stuff. So, but that other one, it doesn't even seem like it had the right pieces to hold it in place where it needs to go. Like all of these little grommets that fit in here, I mean, it didn't have all of this. So even though the hub's right, I don't know what, maybe it came off of a, I honestly don't know. Maybe it came off of a Grand Cherokee or something. Really don't know at this point. Now we're going to put the caliper back on. Now I'm going to put my this back on, and we will get some bolts going on that. These are the ones I definitely want to put some anti-seize on. I mean anti-seize, I'm sorry. Some Loctite on, and because I definitely don't want these coming off going down the road. That would be really bad. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and brace this thing up so that I can do a round and work all of my sockets here. I mean, all my lug nuts to 125 pounds. So, put my calipers back on here. Now I just need to get these bolts started. And again, this is something that you may want to put some Loctite on. Again, I do quite a bit of work on mine, so they get retorqued fairly often, so I'm not super worried about it. But you know, good rule of thumb. If you're gonna, you know, if this is gonna be one of those things where you're just not gonna mess with it again for a while, I understand. Absolutely put some Loctite on it. come back, torque these to 120 pounds. All right. All right. There we go. All right. Now that we've got everything back together, now we just need to get out the trusty zip ties and kind of get everything back together, get them trimmed off, and go from there. I will tell you the original came with these guys, and they were actually on a line, and they were press ends for like on a stock setup. You've got basically like a bracket that these could press into, but on my situation, they're just not useful, so I cut those off. So basically, I got to get this in behind. This goes in first, so this is going to sit in here like so, and then the brake line is going to go in over it like so. So it's a little bit of a tedious pain, but once you get them together, there works pretty good. Try to make these, you know, line up as best it can without putting any real extra pressure on this line. So I think right about there is good for now. I'll get the center one going, and all right, so we got those. We got that one in. One goes on the outside. And on the other outside. Much it, and it's rinse and repeat on the other side, so I'll get to that, and I'm taking it out for a test drive and see how it worked out.